What's going on, everyone? My name is Joseph Reynolds, and today joining me is Joshua Silveira, ahead of his next fight, a return after last year's season in 2022. How are you feeling to finally be able to get back in the cage for this upcoming fight?
Man, it feels good. It's been a while. If you look at my fight career, I was usually fighting every 2 to 3 months. I find a way to stay healthy, don't get hurt. This time around, now I'm with the PFL, I'm with the big boys, so we have to wait for the season to come around. So, just patiently waiting. Super excited to get back in there.
Yeah, and I'm sure last year, despite ending on a loss, it was still a great year for you. Came into the Challenger Series, got the win there, and then won your debut in the regular series as well. But in terms of sort of getting that momentum and then having to experience the loss and bouncing back, what is that sort of like to handle as a fighter when that sort of instance does come around?
Well, losses they're crappy no matter what, but there are lessons learned, at least for the smart ones. The smart guys will definitely um go back to the drawing board. And I would say it's more of I mean, I speak for myself, but I think a lot of fighters agree too. It's more of a mental issue you have to get over, um more of a mental barrier. You lost and moves on. It's a fight at the end of the day. Fights could go one way or the other. So I don't know, man. It helped me a lot with maturity. I just turned 30 in December. um Not to say that turning 30 years old changes anything, but I know I'm getting older. I know my MMA clock career is getting, it's ticking down. This is a young man's game. And I think the loss helped me realize how blessed I am to be a part of this whole scenario. What a great life I have. So take full advantage, man. And the training camp's been going well. Definitely feel 100% more different than what I felt last year.
Yeah, and to experience this sort of time away from the cage, you mentioned yourself, you're a lot more active when you can be, but the differences that you've made in that time as well, and being able to go back and work on your craft, what do you sort of feel as though the fans are going to be able to expect to see when it does eventually get to fight night?
They're gonna see what they probably should have seen me do in the semifinals last year. Everybody knows I push. Everyone knows I'm a grappler, but I'll knock you out with head kicks. I'm a push. I like to push the fights. I like to push the guys to deep waters. I usually get finishes. And I think that comes with not being scared to get tired. And I think in the last fight, I was a little bit of me was scared to get tired. And that happens a lot in the fight game where you don't want to perform as much as you would like to, because maybe if it goes wrong, what if I get exhausted in front of all these people? Well, in this case, we're not gonna have to worry about that. We made sure that my gas tank was, um, handled properly, um, and things outside of the gym too. Proper sleep, good diet, um, not changing everything too crazy, just becoming more committed to it as a lifestyle and as a job. You know.
Yeah, and to only have 10 pro fights, it's still quite early on for you. But in terms of being able to look at that number of pro fights and know that the highest level is where you belong in this sport, to be there and then know what you can build upon this year, what does that sort of look like as a motivator to know what's ahead and what you've been able to do so far?
Yeah, on paper compared to the rest of the guys in the tournament, I'm probably the least experienced. But I was raised around this sport, man. My father fought. My mom and dad are from Brazil. I was raised around amongst Brazilians, jiu-jitsu guys, and pioneers of the sport today, man. So it's exciting, man. I feel like I have old knowledge that grew with me, but I have so much more left in the tank. Like I said, I only turned 30. We have 10 fights. I could only imagine how much more we're gonna do. It's gonna I'll keep doing this thing till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? I'm in love with this sport, and I just can't wait, for the future.
Yeah, and as well, I'm sure you're already more than aware. In terms of obviously the tournament style that the PFL does bring, getting all the way, it brings a very busy schedule. In terms of having that sort of mentality around the fact year round, not really being able to take much time off in between, what is that sort of like as a fighter to know that you're switched on pretty much 100% of the time with a fight booked, or knowing that you're very sure they're going to have something booked?
Yeah, man. For me, it's exciting, man. I wrestled Division 1 college for Arizona State, and we wrestled within it's a 6 month season, wrestling season. Um, and that's not including the off season. And if everyone knows, we're not just wrestling during the season, we're wrestling during the off season. We're always staying in competition, always staying in shape. So for me, this is good news, man. I like how the PFL does their thing. It's giving fighters opportunity to fight, man. You could fight twice, one time, or if you really push yourself, you could get up to 4 fights in a year. And you could ask any fighter, man, 4 fights a year is a blessing, unless you're in the top food chain, and you're making millions per fight just for one fight for that year. But getting 3 to 4 fights in a year is an MMA fighter's dream, man. He'll feed his family, he'll put food on the table, and probably a lot more, And so I think the PFL does a great job with that type of system that they use.
Yeah, and to have this, obviously, the tournament saying it comes with the championship belt, but as well the $1 million prize that's become something that's talked about by everyone in MMA. But to be able to have that there as well as the championship title as well, what is that sort of like to be able to look at without obviously going too far into the future?
Man, that's the goal. That's the goal. It's okay to look. We're not looking too past it, but that's the goal. I wouldn't be here talking to you if my intentions were not to be champion. That's the name of the game. A lot of guys, they might have different intentions. Some guys might just be happy to be here at the show. I want to be champion. I want to be professional fighters league champion, light heavyweight. I want to open doors for myself and use this beautiful organization that's fairly new amongst the others, to really get my foot in the door. And um yeah, man, it would be amazing when I become champion,
Yeah, in training at American Top Team and training there with people that are there, obviously people from all over the world sort of fly over to that gym and train there. But in terms of being there and having that for when you are preparing for a fight, what does that sort of mean for a fighter to be in such a great gym?
It's everything, man. I was raised with American Top Team. My father is the head coach, so obviously, it's that's been my team ever since the day I could remember. Um, and just watching the team go through its difficult times and grow out of it and become stronger and better. And then every day, you walk in the gym and, we got George Masvidal right there in the corner. Then we got Dustin Poirier walking in, and um, we got a couple of guys from Dagestan that it's hard to pronounce their name, but they're tough as nails. Then we got some Brazilian guys. It's honestly a dream come true, man. To be part of that team. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan in not having false sense of confidence. I think that's a key thing when you go into fights. Is people that telling you that you're going to do great, you've been having a great camp, but in all realness, maybe you haven't. Maybe you haven't surrounded yourself with the best people. An American Top Team, I guarantee you will not have a false sense of confidence. You could fight the toughest guy in the world, but if you train here, you will be prepared. You'll have a mental toughness, mental edge. Everybody you go with over here is a killer. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's fighting for big money. It's a great gym to surround yourself.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned your father is the head coach there as well, and to be able to go through your journey sort of side by side with him and be able to do that, what does that sort of mean to you to know that that's what you're able to do as well?
Man, that's just extra on the dessert, right? That's just whipped cream cherry on the dessert right there. Because I mean, my dad's a huge influence, but I feel like I've always had this calling in my heart and my mind to be a fighter, to compete, to be in mixed martial arts. But of course, my father is a huge influence, and you could say that I took full advantage of that, full advantage of what God gave me and my birthright as my father's son. It's amazing that my dad is a pioneer of the sport, and it's just one of those crazy stories that you can't make up. You know what I mean? You can't even make it up if you tried. Father fought, pioneer. Now the son's fighting. Now we're in $1 million tournament. There's just it's just amazing how life could play itself out. You know what I mean? I got other siblings too. They all enjoy the sport. I'm the only one that likes to take it to the point where we're fighting for big money and we're fighting at a big show. But yeah, man, to answer your question, it's an amazing journey, man. Amazing.
Yeah, and then just the final thing from myself is, in terms of going into this fight, obviously it's been a while since the fans have had the pleasure to see you in the cage, but what's the one thing they should be expecting to see come fight night?
Man, just a lot of pressure, a a lot of fakes. Just the guy with intentions to win a tournament, man. You know what I mean? Obviously it's the point system for the PFL. As much as I would love to take my time and really enjoy 10, 12, 13 minutes before I get a stoppage, maybe in the third round. I can't think like that. It's going to be fast paced. You're going to see a guy that's not scared to get tired. I'm there to put in work. I want to grab my opponent and swim to the deep end together with them and see who could tread the water longer. That's the type of guy that I enjoy being. That's the type of guy that I like to blossom to in my fights.
But there you go. That is everything from myself. Obviously, not a fight to miss, but if you'd like to take a chance at any sponsors, anything like that, obviously feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, PFL allows us to have 2 sponsors. Thank God I got 2 sponsors on board. These are friends of mine that have been working on their own companies. So we all like to work together. One of them is a Yerba Mate tea for all my Latin American people. It's called Toma, Toma. Give them a check out. Buy yourself some good tea, good old fashioned tea. And then if you're ever down in Fort Lauderdale, I have my buddy's barbershop opening. It's called Checkmates Barbershop in downtown Fort Lauderdale. It should be open in the next 3 to 4 months. Yeah, man, these guys are family to me. They support me. They're local / friends of the area. So shout out to them. Shout out to American Top Team as always. My family, in and out of the gym, and shout out to PFL for the opportunity. And I appreciate it, man. Thanks for giving me your time.
It's an absolute pleasure to be joined by you today. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Bye-bye.
Wait.